Welcome, dear friends, to this single opportunity of cherishing our spirituality here together. For those who do not have a spiritist center, this is your opportunity as well to cherish these spiritual moments. You know, physically, we all know that we need to exercise, and exercise doesn't mean going to the gym, it means be active physically. Walking, cleaning, running, whatever you need, but active. And we need good food, nourishment, not excessive, but good food. We also need hygiene. But what about spiritually? Your spirit, you also need nourishment. And that's why Kardec Radio is here for you, to nourish your soul. And at the same time, this nourishment is a hygiene opportunity for us to refresh ourselves, to cleanse our minds, our feelings, recharge. And it's a proposal for exercises of the soul. So this is the reason why we're here, to promote this nourishing moment with everyone who is willing to feel better, to rejoice in this life, to create a new, better life. We're sowing today what we want to reap tomorrow. We often look back thinking about the past, what we've done, but we can't forget that at this very moment we are sowing for the future. So don't be sad if you're not harvesting the garden of peace that you want. But remember, you're sowing seeds that pretty soon will blossom in the garden of your heart, of your relationships, and you're gonna reap the beauty of the peace that you want to create, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen on Wednesday, the day after we finish these 15 days of past lives. Mentor Joseph has recommended, inspired by the higher spirits, including Ben Franklin and others, that we start a journey of 10 days of peacemaking skills with Spiritism. If those who are gonna stay on the earth and need to be peacemakers, we better go to the school of peacemaking. So let us get together, and starting this Wednesday, which is gonna be May the 24th, you're invited to be together with us in these 10 days of peacemaking skills. Shall we? Why not? That's what we need, right? Today, in these 15 cases of past lives by Amália Domingo Soler, we're going to study chapter 13. This is from the book Hechos que Prueban in Spanish, the original version, then fully translated in Portuguese, titled Reencarnação e Vida. Both can be acquired in its PDF format on the internet. And then Luis Hu Rivas selected 15 cases and retranslated it and published in the book 15 Vidas Passadas, which is already translated thanks to the efforts of Shane Martin from Richmond and Carlos Diaz from Chantilly. And we are working on a team to revise it, and soon it's gonna be released to you. Are you happy? Yes, I know you are. Me too. Right, Leia? Leia, gratitude to you. And Sunshine, it's good to have you here and to count on you as well in this works at Kardec Radio. Ceisa, love the picture, Ceisa. Nature, flowers, seeking the good, huh? Right? And Karina, our dear future psychologist, spiritist psychologist. We need more good spiritist psychologist, because we have some psychologists who are good, but you know, like any professional, we need more of the good ones. Karina, right? Andrea Torres. How much love, Andrea. Thank you. Beautiful Erica and Danny, how are you? Staying strong, right? Yes, staying strong. Rihanna is here. Thank you, Rihanna. And it's a reminder, until July 4th, we're receiving donations of Spiritist books in English to go to the group in South Africa. After July 4th, we'll be able to send them the whole package. We'll take pictures so you see. We have been receiving monetary donations. 100% of it is going to go to buying the books and actual donations of books. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's never too much. It's always wonderful, right? Adilson, beautiful friend and collaborator at Kardec Radio as well, and his beautiful group, the Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society. You know, we're sister Spiritist societies, because the Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society, the Mount Vernon Spiritist Center in New York, and the Spirit Society of Virginia in Chantilly, they were founded in the same year. Yeah, summer months. Am I right? Summer months, Adilson? The Spirit Society of Virginia started its works June 19th, 2007 in Tyson's Corner. And here we are 10 years later, believe it or not. And we also have the Inner Enlightenment turning 10 years of works, as much as Mount Vernon Spiritist Center. Thank you, Rudy, for being here with us. Hello, Luis Hu. Good job, Luis. We're working together. And Carol Correa is here with us. Say hi to our beautiful Carol.
Hello, friends. It's great to be together forever.
Yes. As Carol reminds us, eternal friends, right? And by the way, today I've heard from Shane Martin, who is the president of the Spiritist Society of Richmond, that Karen Mark did beautiful work on one second. Beautiful work in Richmond. I'm reading Jailton's message here, and I couldn't process both. We're just so humans. But good job, Spirit Society of Richmond. Yes, Richmond has a Spiritist Society. And if you know anybody there, please send them to Shane Martin, okay? All right. Now, I'm so sorry, Jailton. I'll be more diligent regarding the introduction, but you know, the introduction, I talk a little bit about several aspects to give time for people to come in, okay? All right? Are you ready, friends? The case today is never easier. But you know, we're grateful to Amália Domingo Soler because she discloses cases that are real. They are real. Can I tell you how real they are? This past Mother's Day, I'm not breaking down bad news. I'm just saying that these are a piece of cake compared to other things that have been happening. In Mother's Day, a man in the United States kills his mother, cuts her head, go to a convenience store, and he tries to hurt the cashier, and they stop him, etc. I mean, the father doesn't even know why he did this to his mother on Mother's Day. And we can ask Amália, can you ask the spirits? Or can you tell us? Amália, can you? No, but we don't want to know. We know there must be a reason. We trust it. It's said. We pray. But I say, you know, so the cases I'm going to tell you are easy compared to that. Can't be worse than this. Killing a mother, for God's sake, please. It's beyond crime. It's beyond crime. Because a mother, we should always be grateful to a mother no matter what. Right? Yeah. You know, according to the latest researchers of the mind, like Bert Hellinger, who is the founder of the family constellation therapy, they observe how important our parents are in our lives, no matter if we don't understand the relationship, but we owe to them. We need to honor them. They are our relationship with them. It's like the trunk of ourselves, like the foundation. The roots is how we deal with them. So if we don't reconcile with them inside of us, even if you have a good relationship with your parents today, but if you don't, if that inner child is still struggling because of the childhood, you need to work with yourself deeply. Amália Domingo Soler is revealing to us the mysteries of family life, which are no longer mystery. There's nothing mysterious any longer. But she's showing to us that we don't form families because we're cute. No. Forming a family is responsibility. Some people we respect. Oh, I'm going to get married and have children. And some people tell me, and give them siblings. And I say, you know, who can guarantee you that the brother and sister of your child is going to be their friends? They may be the worst enemies. And you think you're going to give them a friend so they are not going to be alone? If you're a true spiritist, you won't have a kid to give a friend to your kid with the illusion that they're going to be friends. No. You have a kid because you're feeling that God wants you to have another kid. And that you're in charge of tutoring that kid. Okay? Parents and children may be enemies of one another, in need of reparation. But siblings, there's no guarantee that they are friends. Is it a tough conversation? No, this is what we call real conversation, right? Yes, it's a real conversation. Hello, Jailton. Hello, Rosa Gladys. And you know, this is about a case that happened in Puerto Rico. Hello, Felipe. You know, I have very much gratitude for my spiritist family in Puerto Rico. In this case, is about something that happened in Puerto Rico, but could happen anywhere on the earth. All right? So, chapter 13, The Murderer Little Girl. The name of the girls, Carmen and Teresa Ayala y Ayala. Carmen Ayala y Ayala and Teresa Ayala y Ayala. Carmen and Teresa, they were orphans. And Carmen had to take care of her younger sister, who was handicapped at a time when there was no wheelchair. Now imagine, they're orphans. And that happened in Puerto Rico. Carmen and her younger sister, they didn't have father and mother, and they lived in a house by themselves. But then they were seeking refuge in their uncle's house. But the uncle was very grumpy and very aggressive. He mistreated them very much. So they were welcomed in another home, but they lacked resources. So it's as if they were jumping from foster care to foster care. How many kids go through that experience nowadays? One day, they got to a house by a family named Garcia. And the wife was very loving and maternal. Oh, finally, they found a maternal location. Hello, Fred Gouveia. How are you, my friend? So, the fact of the matter is, they were finally in a home that seemed to be more family related. And they helped with small tasks, though Carmen, her major task was to take care of her younger sister. Now listen to this. 2 sisters. They're still young. But one is handicapped. She's the younger one, Teresa. She's taken care by the older one, Carmen. One morning, the Garcia couple left to do some work, and they asked that they do some tasks to distract themselves. But as soon as they left, Carmen stopped by the coffee plantations where she had this idea of killing her sister. No, I'm not kidding. This is real. So she went back home and she had that idea for 3 days in a row. She cried and said to herself, no, I cannot do it. There is no reason. But then when she goes back to the plantation, the coffee plantation, with her sister, the little sister on her back, she sees a pond and she hears the voice again saying, kill her. She throws the sister in the pond. And soon after, she digs a hole in the soil of the earth to bury the body of the little sister. As soon as she's done, she goes to the house of a neighbor named Senhora Segunda, and she says, I killed my sister. I don't know why. I don't hate her. I actually loved her. And she confessed. They took her to the police. They filled in a report. And because she was a minor, she couldn't be sent to prison. So she was taken to another organization. But she didn't feel well and she died. And people sent the report to Amália saying, Amália, there is a missing piece in this puzzle. 2 sisters, they become orphans. They go from foster care to foster care house. And then, apparently, they like each other. The older one has to take care of the handicapped one. But then she hears voices. Is this spirit? Are the spirits pushing her to do it? So Amália, she says, that she asked the good spirits, what is on the behind the scenes? You want to know? Yes? So let us ask for the mystery toolkit. Oh, Toodles! It's Mickey Mouse and his mystery toolkit. So we can... Oh, Toodles! Yeah, that's Amália asking the good spirits for... So whenever you're going through a mystery in your life, ask for Toodles. And you can have a... this is through prayer, of course. Prayer, God, what's going on here? What is the mystery? But deep inside there is no mystery. And that's exactly how the spirit guide answers. Hello, Nina, beautiful mother of 2 daughters, sweet and kind. Congratulations for the loving care, Nina. The spirit guide says, I have told you several times, Amália, that when a person does not want to be dominated by the spirits, he or she rejects any influence. If she did not have free will, she would be born with stigma and mark of slavery and be humiliating herself to the passivity. No, but humans have neither blind meekness nor stupid obedience in themselves. All are free to exercise the desires of their will. Now, look at this. The Spirit's Book by Kardec. I wrote it down. That's our homework. There are 101 questions and answers that begin in the Spirit's Book by Kardec with question 456 and end after 101 questions and answers. 557. In question 459, Kardec asked the spirit guides how much the spirits, the discarnate spirits, can influence us, or the incarnate ones. Oh yes. And they say more than you can imagine. More than we can imagine. Where is your realization in that regard? Influence. What is it? Let's observe the word. In. It goes inside of us. Fluence, meaning it flows. It's like it goes in. So how much of their mental content is absorbed by us? How much of the mental content, meaning emotions and thoughts, are being absorbed by us? More than you imagine. But why more than we imagine? Because in the book Genesis, Kardec says in chapter 14 that through our spiritual body, the perispirit, we have pores, and we absorb the spiritual fluids that are created by our minds. Minds meaning feelings and thoughts. How can I select what I am absorbing? By observing what I am emitting. If I am emitting beautiful thoughts, beautiful words, beautiful actions, beautiful feelings, my pores will have receptors for beauty. If I am only seeing the negative, talking about the negative, doing negative things, feeling negative things all the time, my pores will have receptors for the negative. By the law of the mental field, I will absorb what I am emitting. It's a perfume. You wanna smell this perfume? What you need to do? Open. Breathe it in. You need to do that movement of your effort. My effort. Our effort. And that's why we're here together. Right, Margaret? Right, Rita Di Cassia? Yes. So we are here and the spirits are saying, no, no, no. You're not puppets of the bad spirits. If you agree with them, it's because you have the seed of their thoughts in yourself. No, you're not a victim. Yes. And he says something quite interesting. Hello, Chris Costa. How are you? And Binhão. My friend, how are you? Now, they say here, these people do not bother to think because they build their fences and lift the walls of their prison. And if this happens, it's not because there is a higher power to enslave them. If we had one, God would be unjust. And in God there's no injustice because He symbolizes equality. Oh, yes. So the girl who killed her sister, he's writing. It's a psychography. Visualize the spirit writing. The girl who killed her sister committed a crime by her will. and also by the desire of an invisible being. Ah, okay. So now we get it. She wanted it, and there was a companion who created the strength to do it. We're never alone. You think we're alone now? Some people ask me, but Vanessa, is Mr. Joseph really there? And I'm like, why wouldn't he? And I could ask everybody, why wouldn't your guardian angel be right there with you too? Why not? If this is the best time that you are willing to not only learn, that I'm also willing to learn, but I'm willing to be treated. And we're creating this powerhouse by this intercontinental connection. It's a super powerful moment for us. And I say this figuratively speaking, saying the power of the unity that Jesus said. 2 or more gather in my name, there will be. Because it closes the circuit and we can create a current. So we're here. The current is formed. We're together. And the people who watch on demand, they jump in. No, don't feel left aside. No, you're not. Oh, but I wanted to be there. Like, no, you don't need to. Like Leon Denis said in the book Afterlife, the minute you read the book, you're connecting with the mind of the author. That's why we need to be careful with what we read and watch. You know, curiosity is never good, Kardec says. Oh, but I'm just going to read this news. No. The news are not good if they are not going to serve a purpose. Amália Domingo Soler does not have morbid feelings. She knew her mission was difficult, but she surrendered to it. And she's clarifying to us the mysteries of our family ties. 2 sisters, and one kills the other. Why? No, but I loved my sister. She's not aware of herself. She does not know who she is. Therese and Carmen in a previous life were rivals in other incarnations, not only one. So when you say, oh, I'm going to give a sibling to my son or my daughter, first read the books. That's not the reason why you're going to have another kid. Because there's no guarantee that the sibling that is born is going to be best friends with your kid. Okay, right? Okay, Jailton is saying, we can only know the contents of a book or news only if we read it. You're right. You're right, Jailton. We can't be afraid. But you know, I'm talking about people who like reading about murders in the newspapers, who like to watch porn. That's what I'm talking about, okay? And we need to be careful, because when we enter the frequency, we're connecting. And when you open the door of your house to people who are of lower order, you'll be in trouble, because they don't leave very easily. People, when they're polite, they know their way in and out. But when they are less polite, rough, if they go in, mamma mia, they never want to go out. And then you'll be in trouble. Yes, so have to be careful, right? So look at this. Therese and Carmen, they were not friends. The physically incapacitated girl in previous lives was endowed with a strong and robust body, right, Fernanda? And she used her strength to hurt other people without mercy, killing more than once her terrible enemy, the spirit who wants her to be killed. So the discarnate spirit who is telling her older sister, kill her, he is also an enemy that was killed by her the handicapped girl. Observe. No victims. Of course, poor little girls. Poor little everybody. But nobody is, only Jesus died without doing anything. He was not paying for any debt. That case is different. This case is very different. Wicked by nature and a traitor by habit, the little girl created many enemies by her attitude. People who now pursue her, persecute her mercilessly, even going so far as to guide Carmen's arm to kill her little sister. But Carmen was pleased with her work because deep inside she hated her sister. These are the Spirit Guide's words, not mine, even though she did not know why. No, now we need to put a pause. Vanessa, this is too much. I agree, friends. Right, Karen?
Right.
This is too much. No. Yes. It's so true that in the Spirit book by Kardec, he asked, what do we need to know to avoid wrongdoings and to progress more steadily? And the answer, know yourself. Carmen, the girl, didn't know herself. It doesn't surprise us, because who knows themselves? How much do we know ourselves? Can we do the scale 0 to 10? 0 to 10. 10 being like I know myself a lot, and 0 being like not at all. I don't know a little bit of myself as spirit. Scale 0 to 10. You know, these scales, they are not games. They are inner questions. These are therapeutic conversations. If we don't feel the scriptures, it doesn't serve a purpose. How much do you think you know yourself, immortal spirit, not only in this life, like lives, 0 to 10. Don't disclose to us, please. Keep the number to you. I'm thinking for myself. Carrie's thinking for herself. Where do you think you are? You got a number? Write it down. I wrote mine down. And now meditate. Why? Let's meditate. Why? Why? How many lives have we lived? Many. How much do we recall them? Very little. Mm-hmm. How much of our instinctive tendencies, as Kardec says in the questions and answers regarding forgetfulness of the past, how much do we observe our instinctive tendencies? Exercise. Name 3 instinctive tendencies that are clear-cut in this life for you. And it doesn't need to be bad. It could be good. Instinctive. You know, things you do it and you just feel like doing it. For example, if you like music. I love music. I don't know. There's something like music. Like I want to play music. I want to sing and I want to be surrounded by musicians. For example, you bet that is part of a previous life. Maybe you were connected to that environment. So why is God allowing you to make it clear in this life? Because you need to use it for Christ-conscious purposes. Right, Patricia Lima, thank you. Big kiss to you. Now, another tendency. Visualize it. 3. Name 3. And what we need to work, refine, perfect. I'm talking about musicians, so let's go deeper. If you're a musician and you love it and it's something easy for you, maybe you're asked to refine it, to work it like sculpting many lives, true state-of-the-art work. Because God is counting on you to be His co-creator. If you like studying and reading, it's very likely you've been working in the fields of scholarships and schools, educational institutes for lives. But why is God allowing you to cherish it in this life? So you can sculpt the beautiful, instinctive tendency. It's becoming automated for the benefit of all. The same analysis for things that are not too good. And then I go there and say, I need to pay attention to this. This is probably a repetition of many lives. I need to work on it. There's a beautiful book I would recommend. We'll bring her to Kardec Radio. The author of the book, Repetition. You can get it at Amazon.com. It's very interesting because she has exercises for people to avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. Okay? It's another story for another day. For now, the case. So there's more to the case. So Carmen actually didn't know herself. We're not surprised. She's young. At a time when people were less aware of their emotional feeling, the emotional awareness. When Carmen reincarnated, that's the beauty of it all. She knew that her enemy, her sister, would also reincarnate and suffer the torment of not being able to move. She said to herself, I will begin my regeneration taking care of my enemy materially. So she was supposed to take care of her sister in order to make amends, and vice versa, while the other one had to subject herself. The opportunity could not be more propitious. Make of her life experience could give excellent results. But the Spirit says, one thing is theory and another is practice. Since hatred is the plant that is most rooted in the human heart, and Carmen had been the victim of her sister several times, the proof of loving her fearsome enemy offered many difficulties. How many people are in our lives, in our family circles, relatives, that we have those feelings and we don't pay attention? And we asked to go through it with courage and compassion, but we don't go forward. In fact, the difficulties were increasing due to the spiritual influence of the spirit who hated both girls. His hatred originated when he received several very serious offenses from both women. He took advantage of Carmen's vulnerability to take revenge on them, killing one of the sisters and making the other a murderer. Seen from this angle, Carmen was not the only author of the crime. However, if she were more inclined towards the good, she would be able to reject the influence of the invisible being and its evil intentions. Her new fall caused her enormous moral damage. Her return to the greater world showed that her regeneration purposes had been crushed and pulverized by her new crime. Now, in the spiritual realm, she is determined to take a different direction. She is convinced that crime attracts crime, and the satisfaction that comes from vengeance is like a sweet vein which, without our noticing, burns our inside. To destroy a body is to put on our way a huge granite block obstructing our passage, and no one can advance without destroying it. Poor are the spirits who, when they return to the spiritual world, find granite stones in their ways. Prison dungeons are wonderful gardens compared to the shadow that surrounds the killers. The opposite happens when an offense is forgiven, or when a being becomes the guardian angel of the individual who most harmed her. How much joy and happiness are experienced when all the traces of blood and suffering that we have left on our way have been erased. Create love. Awaken your feelings. Soften your edges. Shorten those huge distances. Do good for your own good. Do good for your own good. How productive this work will be for the spirit. However, as great as her atonement may be, however long her death may be, in the midst of suffering she'll be rewarded. If you have to feel the horrors of hunger, you'll find bread. In the middle of the hottest desert, you'll find shade. If you're thirsty, a trickle of rock water will sprout. In the hours of greatest discontent, you'll hear a harmonious voice that will tell you tenderly, love and wait. My paper just fell from my hands. This is amazing, right, Celina? Fernanda, Mamma Mia. See, that's why the spirits are telling us. Work your will. You can do it. Tell yourself, I can do it. Love and wait. Love and wait. Love and wait. Sometimes it's hard to love those who are in our circle of connections because of our spiritual companions who often dislike us. They don't want us to be overcoming our difficulties. So pray for them as well. Everybody deserves a release. Love and wait. Does it come as an answer to you? This lesson today comes as an answer for me too. Right, Carol? For you?
Right, for me as well.
And as Amalia is saying, thank you, my good spiritual guide. And thank you, spirit guide of Amalia Domingo Soler, and you, Amalia, who is bringing to us these teachings. It's for you that I love, and it's for you that I hope. May God bless you. I owe you many consolations. How much light has spread all around me. I was smaller than an atom, had no place on earth, and today I have a large family. I did not have a penny. Now I know that I have an inheritance in the spirit world. Blessed, blessed may you be. Blessed is our spiritual friends. Talking about the influence of spirits. You're going to pay attention to the voice of evil? Pay attention to the voice of love. It's there saying, love and wait. Love and wait. Persistence in love. A little more. A message by the Spirit through Chico Xavier in the book and CD Enlightening Messages. A little more goodwill. A little more joy. A little more work. A little more music. Right?
Right.
And you know, boost your imagination when everything is hard. And it's like raining. And we start singing. I'm singing in the rain. I'm singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. Right? Yes. When it's hard, remember, sing in the rain and say everything's gonna be fine in my heart because we have one another, boosting each other's for the love of God. Look at Carol. She knows the songs, right, Carol?
Yeah.
I'm singing in the rain.
Just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again.
Humming. 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 It's good to be silly. You know, it's a gift of God to be silly, to boost your imagination, your sense of humor. You're not doomed to be like this or like that. You are destined to be God's creator, co-creator. So rejoice, sing in the rain, and persist. As the spirit guide of Amalia said, I'm going to repeat to you so we wrap up today. Create love. Create love. Awaken your feelings. Soften your edges. Shorten those huge distances. Do good for your own good. Do good for your own good. Love and wait. Shall we? You ready for the new week to come? Yes, me too. Have a beautiful, good week. Right? It's basically one of the last week of the month of May. Pray and do good for your own good. Thank you, Rihanna and Nico. Thank you, Andrea Torres. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Rita de Cássia, Eric and Danny, Léa Severo, Rudy, Pinhão, Olivia, Nina, Celina, Patrícia, Cris Costa. And a big hug to all of you. Right, Carol?
Right.
Bye.